something about a bulldog.
We got the undefeated in conference, Burns Bulldogs will be making a trip over to the undefeated in conference.
Matt Royster, Tom
Shelby
Senafani will be down there
Lions.
for the Bulldogs. Jeff Jones and let's see who else is down there doing the radio.
I know Steve is doing the snacks.
Yeah. Anyway,
He's probably doing the snacks too.
Steve's always snacking.
He's always snacking.
Oh well. Anyway, Brent Pasco will be there along with Steve and Jeff and snacking and talking and doing the whole thing, and that might be a good game. Which one you going to? You going to the Crest game or you going to the Shelby game?
I'm probably going to end up at one of those South Fort 2A games. I'm not going to go up to Crest next weekend.
Well, I'll take the Crest Husk game, and you take another game.
I'll take another game. I've been meaning to get up and up to a couple of the games up there. I've been telling the kids I was gonna come up to one of the South Fort 2A games, and I'm gonna make my decision this week on which one of those South Fort 2A games I'm gonna go to. I really want to be at that Shelby Burns game. I
It'd
think
be a close. It'd be a close drive for you.
It would
if you have to
be.
work late like you did tonight.
Well, sometimes I might not work as late. I might try to slip out 6 next
Slip
week.
out.
Slip out.
Slip
They
out.
might notice me gone.
So if I walk in at 8:00, wanting by that truck we was talking about,
Well, now
you'd
just have to
already be
wait.
gone.
We'll just have to wait for the ball game the next time.
All right. Well,
Do
folks,
you guys want to talk to Steve Degree?
about that?
absolutely.
There you go.
Steve-O.
What's going on, fellas?
The streak continues.
Was it ever in jeopardy there, Steve? I don't think that streak has ever been in jeopardy.
What was the final up there, Steve?
55 to 20.
55 to 20.
Yeah, it was 55 to 6 at halftime.
Yeah.
We never played the starters on our bench the second half.
Oh boy.
Played the JV quarterback. Played everybody but the water boy. So we could have scored, but Coach Wilbanks decided, I think everybody that dressed played.
That's good. That's awesome.
That's very sportsmanlike of you fellas, and you've taken care of business, but you got a little bit more business down the road next week, Steve. I know you take them one at a time, but now this is the next game. So talk to me a little bit about what we can anticipate between the Shelby Burns game next week.
I tell you what, fellas, like you say, it's here. It's Bulldog Week. Coach Devine, got those guys playing real good. They also scored 55 tonight too.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be coming over to George Black Stadium next week. I think we owe them a little something from last year. And key one is he's unreal. Number 8 he's unreal. And we just got to play our keys and got to tackle.
Yeah.
You got to tackle him, or you be grabbing grass.
Well, you guys need to bring your A game next week. Burns is going to bring theirs, and that should be a slobber knocker. I'm going to back up just a little bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the Chase game. It was what did you say that score was,
50
Steve?
to 25, I think is what he said.
50.
It was 55 to 20.
55-20, Terry. Terry's putting it on the board right now. We won't talk a lot about that game because we don't want to, rub salt in anybody's wounds. We figured Shelby was going to handle that pretty easily, and you did. But let's talk about Shelby Middle School and Crest Middle School this week. How'd that go, Steve? Tell me how it turned out.
Well, as you know, we played them on. We won in overtime. It was a real good football game, middle school game.
Yeah.
The thing that I like the best is we've never been behind before, and Chris Miller took the lead on us, and we came back and scored, but we missed our extra point and made it 8-6.
Mm-hmm.
And we kicked it off, and the Husky kid ran it back for a touchdown. So we had worked to get the ball to score. In one play, they was right back up 14-6. So that's the way the score ended at halftime. So we told the kids at halftime, we only one play away to tie this thing up. And our defense played lights out.
Mm-hmm.
They really played. and we finally scored in the fourth quarter. We got our receiver named Cam. He just jumped up, did like a Randy Moss type thing, and just took the ball from the defensive back and scored. Then we went for 2 and made it 14-14. And they had the ball last, and we intercepted it about 2 seconds left in the game, and we went to overtime. Now, I thought about Mac Brown.
Yeah.
You always play defense first. You
Yeah.
always go for the tie at home.
That way you got to know what you got to
Right.
do.
So we played defense first, and Chris got it on the 10. They got it to the 1. Had 3 cracks from the 1, couldn't get it in.
Mm.
So, of course, it was our turn to run it. We got it down to the 1, Dennis, and next play, leg of procedure said, put us back on the 6. So I told our guys, look, we got 3 plays to get 6 yards. And if we can't get 6 yards in 3 plays, we don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
And you know how our teams repeat the same play. So we repeated the same play, but this time a quarterback pulled it and went around the right side, scored. Game was over.
Well, Steve, there's a lot of people might be surprised at the level of interest in middle school football here in Cleveland County. I know people are trying to keep up with it. Now, that makes you the Eastern Division champions, and it's between Burns and Kings Mountain for the Western Division. How did that come out?
It's backwards. We're the West.
Okay.
Shelby and Crest and the Rutherford County teams is the West.
Yeah.
Burns and Kings Mountain and the Lincoln County teams are the East.
Okay.
So Burns finished first and Kings Mountain finished second.
All right. So you will play Burns.
We play Kings Mountain, but that game is not going to be till Thursday.
Okay.
And then Crest and Burns will play Wednesday at Burns.
Okay. So we finished the conference and now we're into the playoffs. Is that correct?
Right. And the one of the 2 games played the following Wednesday for the Tri-County Championship.
All right. There you go. Well, Steve brought us up to date on all the middle school football, and more people I think were interested in that, and then the Trojans tonight. That win as usual. Now, what does that make you? 55?
54,
54, 0 and 1.
Yeah.
54, 0 and 1, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good record, Steve. And
That's pretty good. I still say I was just impressed the way when we got behind that our kids responded, because you got 12, 13, 14-year-old kids.
Yeah.
You don't know how they're going to respond. So they did a great job, and some of the officiating wasn't too good, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
Hey, coach, is the officiating ever like really good? I coached out at the port like 20 years. I never thought they made a good call.
hey, Will, especially when they go against you.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I got to give it to a guy. He made one good call back in my days coaching basketball. I baited him to give me a technical because he hadn't took a whistle out of his pocket all night. And he finally called a technical on me, and I said, well, you finally got one right.
Yeah.
He wasn't real happy about that.
Yeah, well, I was just thrilled that the kids won, and it's not about Shelby or Chris. Like I keep saying, fellas, it's about these kids that to get out there and work hard and, trying to prove their own. And
Yep.
I went scouted Kings Mountain yesterday, see what they did before we have a game plan for wins for Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go together and get my game plan together and see what we can get done.
Well, remember, Steve, it all happens up front.
Yeah, my Hogs happens up front, and I keep telling my young guys they can't do nothing without us. I don't care how good the running back is. It all starts in the trenches.
Oh,
and
yes,
I hope
sir.
they buy into that,
Yes, sir. I
All right.
agree. A good line put a mediocre back behind him. I guarantee you put a real good line up front. That mediocre back can turn into a superstar.
Yeah, I got one real big lineman, the Jaden Pierce. He's Isaiah Brothers. He's about maybe 6'1", 6'2", real
Yeah.
big kid. We can get him just play hard every single play, he'll be something special.
Does he live over near Bowling Springs by chance?
Oh no, oh no. He told me he put green on, make him break him out.
Oh, well, Steve, you're looking for a big barn burner over at Shelby next week, and it looks like Crest and Huss are going to have one over there at Sid Bryson Stadium. So we'll have something to talk about in Cleveland County next week.
Tell you what, fellas, Cleveland County football. I mean, you can't ask no better for that. You know, can't ask no better than that, guys.
Well,
Shelby.
I mean,
Burns,
it's a big night
Kings
scoring
Mountain
wise.
Hub.
A big night again scoring wise for Cleveland County. Even though Kings Mountain goes down, but it's a big night scoring again.
yeah.
Burns puts up 55, Shelby puts up 55, and Crest puts up 42.
But Will, let me put in a plug for your Wednesday show here, because the North Lincoln Knights 52 tonight, 52-7.
By the way, just so you know, Steve, the North Lincoln Knights had signs at that game saying "We want Shelby."
Huh?
They called y'all out.
They called Shelby High?
They called Shelby High out. So I just want to put that plug in there. I don't know if it's any Shelby football players are watching or listening, but the North Lincoln Knights have already taken their place into the playoffs and has called the returning state champions out.
Will, this may come as a shock to you, but I've heard from some coaches that they actually have this show on in the locker room after their games.
Oh boy!
So some people down at Shelby could be listening. Some people at North Lincoln could be listening.
Absolutely.
There you go.
All I gotta say is, it's a long way down the road. You better be careful what you ask for.
Steve, we appreciate you calling, my man. We got to make room for Bobby here before too long. I know Bobby will be calling me tonight after the big Shelby win up at the Chase Trojans. But next week, rise and shine and do your thing, and Tom Cinefani will be down to tell you all about it.
And so we just hope you don't be a good competitive game. I don't know, you better get there early.
You better get
yes,
there
sir.
early.
You better be there by 6 o'clock.
Yep.
You better get to the Vikings.
There you go.
I do hope Chris will win. I always want to count.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And when we get out of playing each other for the county, we pull for each other.
Yeah.
Well, some people not going to pull for Shelby regardless. Some people not going to Chris regardless. But like I said, it's about the keep. I was with Coach Evans on Saturday over to Springmore at the football game.
Yeah.
And I was doing something. Coach Evans.
You're fading in and out on us a little bit, Steve. We didn't get that last comment you had.
I said I was with Coach Evans at Springmore last Saturday.
Yeah.
At the Mets football game.
Yeah.
Me and him, we had a long conversation. He's a really nice guy, you know. Can't do nothing but wish him luck. So you can wish him luck.
Well, there you go, Steve. As long as that middle school program over there at Crest keeps feeding him good athletes, we'll have some good football.
That's right. No. I just want to say thank y'all guys for letting me give me a little airtime, and all I can say, go Blue Devils, go Blue Devils. Shelby Blue Devils, now not Duke Blue Devils, Shelby Blue Devils.
Blue Devils.
I'm glad you clarified that.
All right. Go Lions, Detroit.
Okay, Dennis, you better be careful now. You know what's on down the road.
Oh, listen,
He
Bob
can't-
Sherman done got on to me this week anyway.
He
so.
can't root for the Detroit Lions.
No, you're right.
They're
Will.
playing the 13-time world champion, son. So
Wait a minute.
that's
Is that
a
the same
loss.
one?
That's a loss for them, Steve.
They-
Yes, that's the same
played Terry's
13-time
Cowboys
world
last week.
champions
How'd that
that
come
blew
out?
Terry's Cowboys out last week.
Matter of fact, fellas, I'm going to see the Cowboys next week.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I am. I got
Dallas
tickets to the-
Cowboys?
and the Philadelphia Eagles.
There you go,
That's gonna be a
Steve.
good game. That'll be a good game to be at there, Steve.
I'll tell you what, the winner of that game will win the conference.
The winner of that game will win their division. Sure will.
All right.
If I get a chance, Will, I'll wave at you. Hey, Will.
I'm be looking for it too.
All right, man.
All right.
All right, y'all
Have a
take
good
care.
night, man.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate your
All right,
call.
brother.
All right,
Bye-bye.
folks. It's 704-482-1390 over in the Cleveland County. Lincoln County, I don't know that number right offhand. Calvin can give it to you. Call in and we'll talk a little bit. I'll tell you what, I want to hear from some North Lincoln folks.
Is that Jeff?
All right, we got a call. Jeff. Yeah. All right, take it
Jeff.
away.
Hey, Jeff, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, where did you go tonight, Jeff?
I went to Kings Mountain at Hunter Huss.
Oh, Jeff,
Jeff.
talk to me about that game. You're a Forest View man, so you can tell it like it is.
Yes, sir. I feel like, Hunter Huss did to Kings Mountain what Kings Mountain did to Shelby. Came in, kind of punched them in the mouth early and, got them off balance, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I really feel like the tone was also set, after the Hunter Huss touchdown, when Kings Mountain drove all the way down to the Husky 30-yard line and fumbled it, came away empty on the drive, and, stuff like that kind of deflates a team.
Speaking of games tonight, your Forest View Jaguars 45, North Gaston nothing. So I think you made the right choice in going over there to watch that slobber knocker between Huss and Kings Mountain. What did you expect going into it versus what happened, Jeff?
Well, I expected Kings Mountain to come in and, kind of shut the Husky running game down. Because Kings Mountain's got a very solid defense. But go ahead. But that Lamage McDowell was a load to handle early on, and then when everybody was focusing on Lamage, that's when Zoe Wallace and Malik Corey went to work.
Yeah.
And it was Zoe Wallace and Malik Corey, that scored the first two touchdowns. Zoe's touchdown run and then Zoe's touchdown pass to Malik Corey. But once Kings Mountain unleashed the MAC, it became a very tight ball game.
Yeah.
And the play of the game, I feel like at the end of the first half was that fumblerooski. I think that's what they call it, where the player fumbles and then another player tries to pick it up and the ball just keeps on rolling and kept on rolling into the end zone. And finally, a Hunter Huss player, I think it was number 11, fell on it for the score to make it 19-14. Then of course McDowell scored on the 2-point run. I feel like that was the play right there, that decided the game.
So some trickery was involved on the Huss part there.
It's hard to tell if that was planned or if they just made a bad boo-boo and just got lucky to recover it. I mean, you never know with those kind of plays. And then, of course, Kings Mountain had the only points in the second half, which was a safety. So that shows you in the second half both defenses were not giving an inch.
Well, the Kings Mountain defense I've seen, and I have respect for those guys up front and the linebackers. They're pretty tough. So that tells me that Huss must have a pretty good defense unit as well to match up with them.
Hey, Jeff, I didn't get to see it. I was watching the game. I didn't get to see it, but I know Kings Mountain had got down in the fourth quarter. They had got down to like the 1 or 2. What happened in that series? Because when I was flipping between games, what happened in that series that they didn't punch it in there? What did they not give it to Mac, or did they fumble again? I didn't get to catch up on what happened when it was inside the 5 there late in the game. It was 16-21. They was inside the 5 getting ready to score. Was it just a defensive hold them on all 4 downs, or?
Yeah, it was on third down in the fourth quarter. They rushed Mac, but he went nowhere. And then, they went for the passing game twice on that last one and came up empty. And they were in the red zone twice. They were like at the 6-yard line or 7-yard line, it seems, twice. And Hunter Huss, shut whatever they were trying to do down. The first time they got there, I was really befuddled on why they didn't give Mac the ball on that first time they were down there. But the second time they were down there, Hunter Huss Huskies were ready for him. So I don't know if the Kings Mountain coaches or players were outthinking themselves, or, if they knew Hunter Huss was going to be ready for what Mac brought. But, what it wasn't a turnover. Well, it was a turnover. It was a turnover on down.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. They went for it on fourth down. I wondered why they didn't go for the field goal tries on those, to try and just get points on the board. But I'm up in the press box and they're down there on the field coaching. So
Yeah. Well, Jeff, we've got another caller waiting in line here. So where are you going next week?
I think the popular folk want me to go to Burns at Shelby.
All right. Well, we'll expect to hear from you on that one. And when you call, being a Forest View guy, whatever happens, we can trust your judgment. And give a plug for your website there.
Yes, you can see our website at CarolinaVarsity.com, and you can also see it on Facebook too. CarolinaVarsity.com's Facebook page.
All right, Jeff, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Calvin, who's our next caller?
Okay, give me a second here. I think we still got Tom Cinefani.
Oh, the man.
Holy cow, Tommy.
I tell you what, Tom.
55.
No mercy, Cinefani.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a ball game as East Rutherford just didn't match up very well, Calvin. The Jones kid, number 3, the kid they've got going to Western Carolina, he's a player.
Yeah.
Felt they didn't really utilize him very well. First few series, they went empty set and completed a couple passes, but they just didn't really have the offensive line to keep Burns off of Mooney all night for him to be very effective. They tried some different things, but just Burns' defense just pretty much shut down everything they tried. And I want to say Burns had the ball 7 times in the first half and scored 6 touchdowns. So it was just no contest.
Yeah.
East Rutherford, very good ball team last year. Their talent level's way down, and they couldn't match up with us, not with the speed or the athleticism. It was just really over as soon as the teams took the field at us.
Well, they've lost a lot of players. I talked to one of the coaches up there preseason, and they had lost several of their players. And, it was thin to start with, and then when you have those guys go somewhere else close by, it makes it difficult, to have a winning season when somebody keeps sucking all
really
your talent.
Playing Mike Tyson punch out tonight, ain't you?
Oh,
Just throwing all kind of punches
no,
tonight.
No. I didn't mention anything,
I mean, it is what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, the state of North Carolina allows it, and they're going to kind of engineer a result for one group of people. I mean, that's just the way it is, Dennis. I guess that's all I'll say about that.
Well,
But,
we know where your heart is in that matter, and so we won't cause you any grief on that, Tom. But now, speaking of next week, Steve DeGrees had his opportunity. We're going to give you equal time here tonight. What do you see coming up next week with the showdown for first place in the conference between the Lions and the Bulldogs?
Well, if you're Shelby, you've got to stop Pryor. I mean, that's your number one priority. And if you stop Pryor, and you also have to stop Burns' vertical passing game.
Yes.
Leslie had a couple of touchdowns, and Casey Twitty had a touchdown in a long reception. They've also got Jaquan Degree. They have a number of guys that can stretch it vertically on you if you do manage to bottle up Keywan. Cameron Sweety's been throwing the ball very well. Misfired on a few of his deeper throws, but still made a number of good throws in the game. So you just can't, your first priority is stop Pryor, but that's not all they have. They have a variety of guys that can hurt you. and they can move Pryor out in the slot and bring C.J. Hopper in there and give him Pryor out and try to get him out of space. Did a good job getting him a screen pass earlier in the game in the first half that went for a long way. If you're Burns, you've got to be able to tackle their athletes in space, especially,
Yes.
Goes without saying, Jahari Mitchell, getting him in space, and, Isaiah Bess. I've only been able to see him in a couple of games. I saw him against Crest where he looked pretty good. Seemed like there was one other game where I've seen him, but a lot of people are high on him, say he's vastly improved. He's gone to some camps and worked on his game, so
Yeah.
you've got to stop their passing game. And I can't remember the running backs now. I want to say they've got a running back named Fuller, same kid they had last year, who was able to run the ball effectively. So, they've got some weapons too. And, you got Holyfield and Stites and some of those guys on defense. They're solid up front. So if you're Burns, can you block those guys? Our guys up front are going to have their work cut out for them. They've done a very good job this year. But against a very good Shelby defense, I wouldn't want to be blocking Jack Holyfield all night. They're going to have to find a way to do it.
Well, you've got some pretty good guys up front yourself, and that's what I was going to get to next. How do you feel that your line versus the Shelby line, how do you think that will go, Tom?
I mean, I think our line is really gelled. I mean, we've got Landon Hoyle back. Xavier Jennings played well. Jesse Love's played well. Cody Petty's played well. I mean, they've had a number of guys. I've seen Jackson Bivens getting some time at offensive line and some others. I know I'm leaving somebody's out, so somebody's mom, please don't be mad at me. But the offensive line has just played very well. And Love, the kid who's come in, and I was talking to Braxton Bivens, who plays the offensive line too, that Love's come in, and we had a young man who was our center last year. Unfortunately, he decided not to be part of our program and go to another school, but he's really stepped up. That center position is very important, Dennis, when you're running a lot of shotgun snaps like Burns
Oh,
does.
absolutely.
And I'm telling you, people take that center quarterback exchange for granted, and he's really done a great job. And when I was talking to, I've been doing player interviews before the games, and I did talk to Braxton Bivens, and he said they really gelled. They're really like a family. We don't tear each other down. We try to build each other up. And
That's what you call a team.
Yes, I mean, but it's easy to say we're gonna bring each other up, but saying it and doing it are two different things. So they're really doing it on that football team. The offensive line is playing really well. East Rutherford had maybe the biggest kid in the state. They got a kid like 370 pounds playing nose guard, and just really wasn't able to do very much against us. Our line did a very good job opening up holes all night, and I feel they'll play well. They're going to have to play well against the Shelby front, which is very good, very athletic, and as I said, Jack Holyfield amongst others. It'll be by far their toughest test of the season, maybe outside Kings Mountain, who had an outstanding defensive line as well.
Well, Tom, we'll look forward to hearing from you next week. I hope you'll give us a call after the game and give us a report on the performance of the Bulldogs. They've had an outstanding season, and we know that this game is crucial. But right now we got to take a break and pay some bills so you and I can get a check and it don't bounce. So, Tom, appreciate it. Give us a call next week.
I want to ask you one quick question. Hunter Huss upset Kings Mountain tonight?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
they did. 16. Hunter Huss won 21 to 16.
21 to 16. Wow, that just kind of shocked me. I'm sure you guys will be breaking more of that down.
Hey, Tommy C. Tommy C.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something.
Go
You
ahead.
know how you said you didn't want to be the one that had to block Jack Holyfield all night?
Right.
It is somebody on that offensive line and said, that is my job, that's what I want to do. And so you got a kid over there that's saying they want to put some pounds on them. They played physical all year, they want to show it. They want to show that they have a right to be right where they're ranked at.
You're right. Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. He's a tough kid, man.
Hey, Jack is one of the, far as kid-wise, he's one of the my favorite kids I ever coached. He's
Yeah,
a really
he-
nice kid, and he
Yeah, and he comes from a good family.
he
All
comes
the
from a
kids-
great
I
family.
think-
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing now, Will, he's better than Dax.
Well, I think
Two different positions and all that stuff, you know.
Hey, they're brothers. What do
They're
you-
brothers. I can only say this. I'm gonna say this, and then I'll get phone calls from both of them tomorrow.
Well, I think
Dak
the
is
Hollowfield
fast.
family had about 12 or 13 kids. It seemed like wherever I went to, I was running into another one. But they're all great kids, and just a great coaching family, great players, and just going to be a great matchup. So I know you got to pay some bills. I'll get off here.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys next week.
Calvin's giving me the stink eye in here, so we'll be right back
We'll be right.
after a word from our sponsors.
I'm not exactly sure what the stink eye is.
That elongated eye.
I do want to take a time to say something. Okay,
Sure.
It's not often I get to maybe work behind the mic on this show and watching the games tonight and such. There's some comments that are made on our broadcast that I don't know, as manager and owner of the stations, it's like the guys that are doing the broadcast, we're not professionals. We don't work for CBS or ESPN. We love high school sports.
Right.
And that's part of the reason we do it.
Right.
Our cameraman may not be the best cameraman in the world. A lot of them are interns. A lot of them first time. And there are some cruel things sometimes said about our announcers and our cameraman that do these games. They're not getting paid much. We're not making much money on these broadcasts. We make a little enough to pay the folks. But you think about it, today the schools are now charging
Yes.
to broadcast, even audio in some places. They do definitely charge for video. Then you've got your announcers to pay, and you think about 6 broadcasts. You got your pregame show, you got your postgame show, and then it all adds up, and it's getting harder and harder these days to find sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's getting harder and harder today to find sponsors. Now, it would be a whole lot. We don't have to do this. It'd be a whole lot easier to put on a Charlotte Hornets preseason game tonight
Oh, yeah.
than do all this. So, anyway, I guess I had to get on my soapbox a little bit tonight because that kind of got to me the way some of the people spoke about some of our announcers. And, I see it every night, almost every weekend. And it's across the board about our announcers sometime and about some of the cameramen.
But Calvin, the people who are doing the complaining are probably the same people that complain about everything.
Right.
You may be right. You may be right.
Yeah, for that 1%, that 1% of people that are complaining, for the majority of the rest of our viewers that watch us on
YouTube
YouTube,
yeah.
Well, let me
and
just
listen
say
to
this.
the games on the radio, they
Mhm.
appreciate that we're giving them a chance to listen to a game that they may not be able to make it to, or to be able to sit at their house and watch a game that they may not be able to get out to. So for us to get upset over anything you do in life, people are going to complain about what you do. So anything you do in life, they're going to complain about it.
Calvin, I just say this, and this comes from other professional radio announcers that we run into at the games. They're very complimentary of the KTC organization and what we do, and their comment is, I love what you guys do for high school football in North Carolina.
Well, like I said, we're not all professionals. Otherwise, I guess we'd be sitting behind an ESPN desk somewhere, or microphone. I'd probably be in St. Louis broadcasting a ball game if I
There you
could
go.
tonight. Even though the Cardinals have no hits through 8 innings. So
you used them all up the other night
I think
against
we
my
used them all
Braves.
in the first inning the other
Yeah.
night. But anyway, it's like I said, it would be a whole lot easier to put on the Charlotte Hornets pregame and everybody have Friday night off and not have to worry about it.
Yeah,
And
but
when we come
but
back-
the people that love what we do would
Yep.
to sacrifice the people that love what we do for the 1% of people that don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
We love our viewers back.
We
So-
do. We do all. What we do is from what we get paid and what we do. It's got to be for the love of it. So-
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of the love of the game, Joel Clemmer has just come into the studio.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't have to be here tonight, but we'll be hearing from him about the Kings Mountain Husk game when we come back.
All right.
After the break.
We'll take a break. It is 2 minutes after 11 o'clock. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL, Cherryville, Gaston.
Fight back.
Before you head out to the game, head into the Creekside Clock Restaurant in Shelby. Hey, check out the great specials like ribeye or New York strip, USDA Choice Angus 10-ounce steak, and cut daily and served at your choice of one side and Texas toast. Get 2 for $22. And enjoy their Saturday morning breakfast buffet from 8 till 11 a.m. and their weekend buffet, Friday and Saturday evenings from 5 to 8, Sundays from 11 to 2. It's all you can eat. That's the Creekside Clock Restaurant, 1025 Kaiser Street, right off Highway 74 East in Shelby. The Super Slam is back at Denny's on Highway 74 East in Shelby at the Cleveland Mall. By popular demand, the Super Slam has returned. That's 2 eggs, 2 bacon strips, 2 link sausages, 2 pancakes and hash browns, all for $5.99. That's right, only $5.99. And come see the newly remodeled store. We think you'll love it. Ask for the Super Slam, now back and ready for you at your local Denny's, 2025 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, open 24 hours a day. Going to the dentist is made easy with a visit to the new Downtown Dental on North Mountain Street in Cherryville. Downtown Dental accepts all insurance plans, along with accepting Medicaid. They are now accepting new patients, and walk-ins are always welcome. Even if you don't have insurance, you can have your teeth fixed at Downtown Dental. So turn your frown into a smile with Downtown Dental, 106 North Mountain Street in Cherryville, right beside the Greer Beam Truck Museum. Just call 704-435-8100 for more information. You know, facts just don't lie. And here are the facts about Fastway Oil Change in Shelby. Fact number 1, Fastway Oil Change has been in business for over 28 years. Fact number 2, the employees at Fastway Oil Change have over 98 years of combined experience. And fact number 3, in those 28 years, over 500,000 customers have been served. Those are the facts. Find out why people keep coming back to Fastway Oil Change. Fastway Oil Change, 630 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Let Fastway Oil Change do the dirty work for you.
The foot doctors of choice for many in this area are Doctors Jeff Mooney and Ron Maskarnik at Foothills Podiatry. In fact, people come to Foothills Podiatry from miles around for gentle but state-of-the-art foot care. Our staff truly cares about your needs. You can expect top-notch medical and surgical care from a staff dedicated to quality service. Whether a repeat patient or a new one, come see us soon at Foothills Podiatry, 707 North Morgan Street in Shelby.
Foothills Podiatry is proud to welcome Dr. Gretchen Lawrence to their practice.
The trained comfort specialist. He's so reliable that buses set their schedules to him. Once, he was the best man for a guy he didn't even know. He's never used a snooze button. The unstoppable train comfort specialist. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Your train dealer is Forest City Heated and Air at 457 South Broadway Street in Forest City. Call 828-245-1379. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. Well, a little update on the Cardinals in Washington. They are in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Sanchez, the pitcher of Washington, has given up his first hit. So what does the Manor do? Dennis, what does the Manor do? You give up 1 hit through 8 innings. What do? You take him out.
Yeah,
I don't understand that, you know.
What's the score in the Braves and Dodgers game?
Well, Braves nothing, Dodgers nothing. Right now it's 2-0 Washington leading the Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th inning, 2 outs and a runner at first. J.D. Martinez breaking up the no-hit bid by Sanchez. All right, back to you guys.
And welcome back to the Renaldo post-game show. Sorry about that, Steve. Wish you were here doing that again for me. Let me run through the scores right quick for those of you that just tuned in. Tonight it was the Crest Chargers over the Ashbrook Greenway, 42-14. East Lincoln Mustangs tonight did not perform up to their usual standards. The North Lincoln Knights did and defeated them 52-7. The Burns Bulldogs, we just heard from Tom Senefani, setting up that showdown with Shelby next week. It was Burns 55, East Rutherford Cavaliers nothing. Speaking of the Golden Lions, they went over the Chase Trojans tonight, 55-20. It was Hunter Huskies 21, Kings Mountain 16. Joel Clemmers here, and he'll be telling us about that game, first-hand experience here in just a moment. Mountain Island Charter 63, the Cherryville Ironman 6 tonight. It was Bessemer City the Bumblebees down there won 46-20 over Union Academy. Thomas Jefferson, 42, Community School of Davidson 0. It was Pine Lake Prep tonight, 52-0 over Highland Tech, and it broke Terry's heart, but Newton Conover 37, West Lincoln 34
mine too.
tonight.
That was West Lincoln was my pick.
Yeah,
On
you
the
picked
South
West
Fork
Lincoln.
two-way pregame
Yeah.
show. So that
And in a game that everybody was just tuned into, it was Patton 49, East Burke 21, RS Central 42, East Gaston 7, and Forest View 45-0 over North Gaston tonight. Maiden 56-0 over Lake Norman Charter. Bandies, I know there's at least one announcer here at the station that's happy tonight. Bandies 35, Lincolnton 0. It was West Iredale 30, North Caldwell, or West Caldwell 19. So that's a score on that one. Fred T4 didn't do too well. High Brighton tonight beat them 60-7. Watauga over Hickory tonight, 56-28. It was St. Stephen's over North Iredale, 35-14. Bunker Hill and Drone, Joel, as a slobber knocker, 28-27 Bunker Hill. Freedom bounced back tonight and beat Alexander Central 46-42. And in the 4A Conference Championship game, South Caldwell 50, excuse me, McDowell 10. There's only two 4A teams in that conference, Joel, so whichever one of them won is the conference champion. Mercy. Joel, Kings Mountain and Hunter Huss tonight. I appreciate you coming in. You're a man of integrity. A lot of people would just tuck their tail. Tell me about that game. I know there's a couple things you're upset about, and so just let it out, Joel. Vent.
Don't now. Hold on, Joe. Focus. Because we're going to feed you. We got some sagebrush, beef tips, and rice in there.
It good,
Lord
man. It good.
mercy is good.
They fixed me up tonight. And some good veggies in there, Will. They didn't get no broccoli. We got rice.
Got some rice instead
Yeah.
of broccoli.
Okay,
That's
after that,
okay. I ain't going to be.
I ain't much of a rice man.
Yeah.
But, Joel, talk to us. It's the mic's yours. Tell us all about it.
Well, like they said, it was gonna be a dogfight tonight, and I expected that, and it was two good teams going at it, and I give props to Huskies. They found a way to win it, cause like first quarter it came down. They had their running game going a little bit, and because we ain't seen that kind of bruising back yet, and when he came in, he's a pretty good runner. McDowell is, and once we figured him out, the problem was they had Malik Curry and Zoe Wallace, but we didn't panic. We knew it just kind of cost us when we penalized on the wrong side of the ball field, and then the turnover gave Hus back the ball, and then they made it 13-0 just like that. Mm-hmm. And it was just a battle of who wanted it the most, and right now Hus is on top, one game ahead of us, and I just give props to both teams, cause both running backs, it's like they got a Mack truck and we got a Mack truck. It just,
Well, you have Brooks too, and he ain't bad.
no, he ain't bad either. It's like it's pretty even teams.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, we just second half we had our chances, and we couldn't capitalize on our chances.
Well, that's the thing about high school football or any football team, Joel. You got your opportunity right there, and you reach out to grab it, and it just slips right off the tips of your fingers sometimes.
And but once Kings Mountain, once we had that last turnover, they let Mac take over, and he got us going. And he it's like watching us all over again, but unfortunately it was us running, and it was like, okay, you got a running back, we got a running back, and it was just they was pounding that. Both running backs, they showed they can just run over people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like Jeff called in what turned it around though was that pass that Huss threw. I thought it just way Kings Mountain hit the guy, and when he caught it, it happened so fast you couldn't tell what they was trying to do. But Kings Mountain did put a hit on that receiver, and it's like the ball popped out and it just went all over the place and it rolled in the end zone. And we had momentum. We had a 1 point lead, and then that's where the momentum turned, and Huss bounced on it, and it was just then the second half it was just like a chess match.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he referred to it as sort of the fumble rooski. Now he puts on the hat. He must have looked at the score tonight. Welcome, Kevin.
What's up?
Mr. Hastings
Yeah,
in the house
get my
tonight.
ears on so I can hear. I was just trying to tell Will. I'm sure Joel, along with some other folks in the Kings Mountain area, are not too happy with some referees right now.
You know, Joel's being a gentleman, but he did mention that off the air.
I'm going to say it was one of the most garbage things I've ever seen. The inadvertent whistle.
yeah,
Inadvertent whistle. So, folks, let me tell you kind of what happened. Kings Mountain is down. No, it was 14-14 at that point, and they made a stop. Both they were 4 times. Let me put it this way: 4 times Kings Mountain got stopped inside the 30 with no points.
yeah.
That's 12 points just in field goals, and you win right there. Now, besides that, let's not talk about that. So, bad play calling, execution / great Hunter Huss defense tonight. You couldn't get nothing over the top on Hunter Huss tonight. Now, let's get to the situation at halftime, which is basically the game, because nobody scored the second half.
Yeah.
Kings Mountain ends up getting a safety after failing to score again and not kicking a field goal again, and they end up the safety. That's it, bub. The safety. Yeah, now you might eat your lips, Will. You start eating that on the sagebrush.
You might want to kill Will's mic here in just a minute.
He's about to chow down on some sagebrush steak. So Kings Mountain gets the safety because the punter reached down and put his knee down while picking up the ball. Both teams had problems tonight snapping the ball. Snapped over. Ethan Reed got hit in the face one time. And then you guys were in field goal range and snapped it to the 50-yard line from the 15-yard line. So with anything, it was like the Monroe game. I said during the game, like anything and everything that could go wrong, Joel, was going wrong. But Kings Mountain's still in the ball game, so I thought you guys were cool. I never panicked. Even on the last drive, I'm like, we got 5 minutes. And you guys had marched down on them so many times. Is it banging well?
Oh my!
That's no Carolina Reaper sauce, is it?
I tried to tell you. You put that on any meat you want, buddy. I'm just telling you. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But so Joel, it's just like anything that could go wrong did go wrong. You guys are still in the game. You had 5 minutes, had the drive. But let's get back to the halftime. This silliness of ridiculous, and we didn't even know what it was kind of in the press box because the referee's mic wasn't working. So it was all signals and stuff going back, and it was total confusion about what the call was. So. Yes! Did you see that? The flex. Did you see what the call was?
No,
what is this?
no.
Are you a referee? Terry might know. The referee honestly looked at us and went, If you're watching online,
what's that
it was
call?
just like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was flexing like Arnold Schwarzenegger out there. I have no idea what that means.
I got the power.
I'm glad y'all saw it on TV. We laughed at it.
I seen it where I was like, what?
I asked Jawan on the roof. I was like, "What is that? Does anyone know what that is?" And we thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, he was about to rip through his shirt. But so they get the safety, which makes it, what was the score then? I can't remember the exact score.
21-16.
Okay, so y'all go to kickoff. No, that wasn't that. That was after. That was after. That was
before
early.
halftime, that fumble.
I'm gonna get back to halftime.
Okay.
So the kick hits the guy in the chest. Well, he threw up the fair catch. So the referee, anticipating the call,
That's what Joel was telling me earlier.
has the whistle in his mouth. As a football referee, you're not supposed to have the whistle in your mouth. In basketball, you're really not supposed to either because when you're running, you can bounce and breathe right into it and do an inadvertent whistle. It's the whole inadvertent whistle. Football, you're supposed to have it around your finger, right? Somewhere you can grab it and then pull it up because you see the call, know the call, pull the whistle. Now, I don't know if fundamentals have changed. I could be totally wrong. But he blew it we didn't know he blew it. Now, the Kings Mountain sideline might be able to confirm that the whistle was blown at a certain time. It was blown. You heard it. I could not hear it where I was at. So what we saw was a short kick, hit the kid in the chest. It bounces right back to Kings Mountain. They jump on it. 2 guys. I think 14 Presley came out with the ball.
But it was
Everyone's
a dead
cheering.
ball because the whistle was blown.
And the rule is on that basketball, football as well. As soon as the whistle's blown at any time, the play's dead no matter what, inadvertent or not. There's no accident. The play's dead. So Kings Mountain lost that. They should have had the ball.
Yeah.
So instead, Huss has the ball, and they turn around and the most unbelievable, unluckiest plays maybe, with 10 seconds left at halftime. It wasn't really a Hail Mary. It was more like a deep cross pattern. Zoe Wallace got in trouble, faded to the right. Kings Mountain put great pressure on him. It's kind of just tossed it up, really.
Yeah.
And exactly what you want on the defense. You want the quarterback going backwards. You want him tossing it up in the air. You want a tipped ball. So it's tipped to the to the offense. Offensive guy catches it at the 5. Goes to shake somebody. The defender coming in from the side hits the ball fumbles. So now we've got a tipped ball, a caught ball, a fumble. That guy picks it up, goes towards the end zone. He gets hit. Second fumble into the end zone. Dog pile into the corner. Hunter Huss touchdown. All after an inadvertent whistle. Now, I tried to explain Will how the referees ruined Romo's career, because Dez caught that ball. So pretty much the same exact heartbreaking thing happened. We can talk about that tomorrow on Saturday morning Sports Talk. But anyway, just complete calamity as far as, what happened with the referee and then that touchdown.
Balls,
I'm
come
sure
get
he's
your
got to
son.
feel awful. I'm
Well-
guessing the ref feels awful on what happened because
Well,
he cost him a
that's-
turnover and then he cost him the touchdown and really the game. Yes, Kings Mountain should have scored in the second half and the 4 drives into the red zone.
Even
But that was
where
bad.
I was standing at, we was all kick the field goal, but
And y'all usually do. Like,
Yeah,
and I didn't understand, you guys put so many points on the board. Usually, just take the field goal, get out of there, and be happy with it. You come back to score again. You had plenty of time. Got the ball back in 5 minutes. The first drive of the second half, they took 7-ish, almost 8 minutes off the clock and didn't score. So you had a 70-yard, 7-minute drive, no points.
Goose egg.
So,
But,
tough breaks for Kings Mountain. I just feel bad for
but
it.
unfortunately, like I told him, a couple of years ago, it had the same thing with Kings Mountain kicking it up in the air, and before the guy catches it, it's just like I said, "Ref, get that one." They said, "You don't supposed to blow the whistle before he touches."
He shouldn't even have it in his mouth at that
And,
point.
it's cost us. It's cost us.
So y'all have had the inadvertent whistle before.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I like I said, I couldn't hear it. It was just, there was such a good play by the defense. It went off the kid's chest perfectly like you wanted it to.
But
And-
like I
and-
said, no excuse on our part.
No.
Hus came down, and we just they just need to do something about that. When they got to wait till that guy catches it or he drops it. 'Cause
Now-
once he drops
right.
it, it's a live ball.
Right. So anyway, if they don't score there, you don't even really think about that. But then the
Yeah.
craziest player there on offense, so just bang bang
Yeah.
for Kings Mountain, and then I get up and go to the bathroom at halftime. There's only about 75 people in line out the track. So the biggest holding calls on the night is what Jawan said was me and him holding our peas for 4 quarters.
I don't believe I
All
said that.
We got a caller.
That was Jawan. He said, we got the best.
We got a caller.
All right, Calvin, who we got?
I think Trey, you still
Oh,
there?
Trey.
I don't know how to follow that, guys, about holding peace. I really don't know how to follow that up.
Never mind. Tell me about the Chargers tonight and the Green Wave.
Well, I'm gonna be brief with this game. I got a couple of things. Y'all talk about the inadvertent whistle. Chris had one tonight that cost him a turnover. It was the correct call. Chris got the ball, but then it went back, inadvertent whistle. The referee blew it before Chris guy got on it. He assumed the Ashbrook guy recovered the fumble, which he didn't. He bobbled it. Chris got it and blew it, whistle dead. So it went back to the first down, went back to the previous play. It was a credit call, but a lot of inadvertent whistles, it sounds like tonight. So just a brief thing on the game tonight. I'll be short on the game. I got other items to go over. So I thought Chris was the most penalized team in the state, but apparently Ashbrook's got them way beat. So Ashbrook had 20 penalties for about 150 yards tonight. So that's why we're just now getting done about 30 minutes ago.
Hey, Trey, at halftime, Kings Mountain had 8 penalties, 71 yards, and Huss 6 penalties, 50-something yards, too. So we had 100 and something penalty yards in the first half alone.
Yeah,
for us
Chris
already.
wasn't bad. Chris had it toned down, but if we're going to beat Hunter Huss next week, guys, or any quality team, we have to cut down on the 15-yard penalties. It's just destroying the momentum that you get in the game, and it's just you're not going to beat a good team having those penalties. It's going to come back to bite you sooner or later. So we've got to clean those up. So I feel like I say it every week, but we got to clean those up. You know, Chris played good tonight. The offensive line played really good. Graham had over 150 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. So they had a good game on the ground. Defense played good. Ashbrook made it 21-14, but then 21-12. I'm sorry. And then Chris kind of went away and just ran away and hid from him tonight. So you know, good game tonight. We got a big one next week. Guys, if we win that, the worst we can do is tie for first, and we go into a drawing. So, you know, I'll take my chances on that. So hopefully we can pull one out.
Well, Joel says we play Kings Mountain the last game of the year. It'd be interesting to.
Well, I got a saying for Joel, but I'm not going to say it on the air because Rob Root told me do not say it, so I can't say it. So if we beat Kings Mountain, I'll tell you, I'll let you know what it is when you go into if we beat Kings Mountain.
Well, we don't want to lose our license, so be careful.
No, it's clean. It's clean. Joel wouldn't like it, but, you know, we didn't play them yet. So.
Well, I'll have to give Joel credit. He came.
Hunter Huss is going to be a load next week, guys. They look like they're rolling. So anytime you beat Kings Mountain anywhere, you know, number 1 team in the state, you got a good team. So it's going to be a challenge for our guys next week, but we're going to show up and see what we can do.
Well, that's all you can do. But tell me about those Springmore Bulldogs. How did y'all come out last week?
Well, Dennis, I want to go over the middle school game first, then I'll get to
middle
Springmore.
school.
Okay?
Yeah, I give Steve.
Talking about the referees. This middle school game. Steve DeGree misspoke earlier. They gave the Shelby Blue Devils the game. Okay. I'm just gonna tell you now. I've never seen a hose job that bad on a football field.
Oh, tell us what you really think, Trey.
The mic, so I'm just gonna let y'all know that Shelby Blue Devils. So I'm just gonna let them know that.
We lost you there for a second, Trey, going in and out. You want to repeat what you just said?
Say what?
As a repeat what you just said, kind of lost you there going in and out.
No, I said the Shelby Blue Devils, they know that Crest Dragons are a better team.
Oh, okay.
So
that sounds like a little bit of a call out.
Hopefully we meet them in 2 weeks for the championship, or we'll take the big title, so they can have the game, but we'll take the title.
There you go, Trey.
Hey,
I'm just frustrated over the refereeing guys, because you know the kids that age and the coaches just work their tails off, and it just seems like the referees just want to be involved and want you to know they're there. You know, remember the old days where you're not supposed to notice the referee? That's a good referee.
Oh.
Well, those days are long gone. So, especially the middle school game, that was embarrassing.
But them days been gone for a long, long time.
Oh, absolutely. Now let's talk about the Bulldogs. Let's talk about the Springmore Digit Bulldogs, guys.
I want to talk about my favorite center in the whole world.
Yeah, that little curly-haired boy.
He's sitting in the back seat here. He perks up when you say that. So.
Yeah.
How's my boy Nick?
Oh, he's good. He's good. I'm gonna tell you what. We played number 3 last week, and I'm gonna tell you guys, they had a guy on their nose guard that he's probably about. I don't know, Dennis. I'm 6'5", so he's probably about 6'2".
Yeah.
And about 300 pounds, and he's a monster. And he's a 6th grader at number 3. So Nick had his hands full last week, but you know the kid didn't play after halftime, so I don't know what happened there. Nick said he wore him out so bad he had to quit. I don't know about that. So anyway, we won 42-6 last week. It's number 3. So you know, great offensive play calling. I got to give a shout out to John Edwards. He filled in last week. Yeah, great play calling. Scored on the first play of the game. So the 2 weeks ago, I know they called in last week because I got out of the game late, but we beat Bowling Springs 44 to nothing 2 weeks ago. So, you know, we're rolling pretty good. We got Union, the Burns Feeder School tomorrow at Springmore. So come on out. And this midget team's pretty special. They're good. And, you know, if hopefully no hiccups come up and we make the championship game later in November and we can win the championship for the midgets at Springmore. But we got a couple more games to go. We got to face Union tomorrow, and then we got a couple more in the regular season. So we got to work every week. That's what we got to do.
You going up against Coach Pryor and his Union Terriers tomorrow?
Yes, we are. We are.
You got a tough game on your
we played them in a championship game last year in the Pee Wees, and they gave us all we can handle. We didn't win until late, so they got a good little running back that's shifty. You can't get a hit on him, so he's going to be a handful tomorrow. But I think our defense is up to the challenge tomorrow. So you know, we're pretty much all, you know, we got pretty much every piece to the puzzle. But I don't want to be too bragging, but we're pretty good. So it ain't the coaching. So hopefully we can get a win tomorrow. You know, we can keep rolling, and kids will keep winning. So yeah, come on out to Springmore tomorrow at 1 o'clock and watch them. And they're a great concession stand, chili cheese nachos and hot dogs, guys. You can't beat that.
Every time he say great concession stand,
hey,
my eyeballs
y'all can come eat. Y'all
light
got
up.
to at the fair. Y'all come on over and eat.
I'm trying to tell y'all, it
cover
ain't,
that for you tomorrow.
it ain't nothing like getting a hot dog at a Pee Wee or elementary football game. I'm trying to tell you, they're the best hot dogs in the whole world.
They're usually grilled on a grill.
Dennis, you come to the game tomorrow. I'll hook you up at the concession stand.
Oh, man.
I'm in
1 o'clock. Can I bring Will with me? And I'll bring Terry.
I don't know if we can take both of you. Y'all might be losing money on that.
There you
Well,
yeah, y'all come on over.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna come over. You ain't gotta feed me. I'm gonna try to get there so I can see my favorite little center. I want to see him get about 10 pancakes tomorrow. So I'm gonna come over there and watch my old boy go walk.
Like I said, he ain't hands full last week. I don't know if he pancaked again or not, but he played good. All the whole team played good last week. It's you know, it's a challenge each week to know what you're going against, but. You know, if we execute and we don't turn the ball over, we're pretty tough to beat. So that's what we keep telling the kids. We just play our game, and we're gonna win. So you know, that's what we try to do and teach them the right way. It's always fun when you win.
Oh yes, sir.
All right, Trey. We appreciate it, man. Good luck tomorrow. I'm sure next week you'll.
Tell Steve Degree that I want to see him in 2 weeks.
Hey, he done throw down the gauntlet, Steve.
2 weeks.
You tell him that the Tigers know the Blue Devils won, so we're gonna take it. We're gonna beat Burns next week, and then we'll see him in the championship game.
There you go.
Oh, Lord.
All right, Trey. Appreciate it.
All right, see you guys.
Terry, I know that you're hurting a little bit over that Newton Conover game tonight. Close but no cigar. What have you got to say in regards to the performance of the West Lincoln Rebels so far this year? Not just this game, but so far this year. Yeah.
Terry, hold on, Terry. I can't hear you right now. Let me check. Well, you know, it's hitting when you're talking, but let's try. You know, just talk for a sec. Go ahead, Terry.
Yes, this is Terry.
There you go.
Now
I got the wrong button on
There
on
you
there,
go.
Terry. Now I got you plugged in, right?
But when
Try that.
we started this year, everybody said West Lincoln would be down, and you know, as West Lincoln football, everybody knows it's not great up there every year.
It's
But
cyclical, just like high school
It
football
is.
in general.
Well, we're not a Shelby, that's
No.
for sure. But when you come into every year, everybody was like, and I said, hey, the worst we'll do is 7-4.
Yeah.
You know, and right now we're 5-2. A few games left to play. Got Lincoln coming up this coming week. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, we made a trip up there, and we knew that it was a game that we had to have if you want to stay in a chance to be the conference champions. You know. Okay, you lose, but we was up 26-14, and then we end up getting beat 37-34. We Scored right before the fourth quarter, about 3 minutes to go. We tried an onside kick. We got the ball back, and we went 4 and out on the next possession, and then Newton Conover run out the clock to finish it off. But 37-34, I mean, these games that you play every year that that, hey, you got to make something happen. You had an opportunity, you got the onside kick, and you got to make it happen. And they come up short. And that's when I was going back when it's talking about Kings Mountain. We talk about plays that shouldn't happen in the game, but I also know Kings Mountain had it 1st and goal at the 6th, and did not score. So, there's opportunities in every game, and when you only get beat by a couple points, you all come back. You can't blame it on a ref. You can't blame it on anybody.
It's opportunities.
Yeah, so, I mean, and basketball's the same way. I always tell people, if you are playing a basketball game, don't ever worry about what he says, because there's going to be free throws we miss, layups we miss, a lot of stuff that you're going to miss in a game. So, you never try to blame a ref, and I know people do. New Orleans tried to set back last year in their NFC game and blame that ref, and hey, maybe that was a legit call and it's a big play in the game, and that might have cost them. But in high school football, don't blame refs, don't blame anybody like that. But as far as West Lincoln, hey, a great year so far. Yeah, 1 and 2 in the conference. That kind of hurts.
That was my observation, Terry, that overall, this has been a pretty good year for West Lincoln. They've had, like you said, a 5-2 record, but overall this year, I think they've played well. They've been in the games. They've got some chances here down the road.
Well, you look back at them, and just like we went over Maiden today in our pregame, Maiden's lost 2 games this year. They lost by 1 point to South Caldwell, and they lost by 1 point to West Lincoln.
Yeah.
So they got 2 losses on them by 2 points.
Yeah.
West Lincoln led North Lincoln at halftime. They also led this game 26-14. You just got to finish the game. When you had the lead, you must finish the game. And they're coming up a little bit short in a couple of them.
Come back to that. We got a caller right now. We're gonna catch this caller. What we got?
I think we got Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah, you're right. What about them Chevy Golden Lions?
How about them Chevy Golden Lions, Bobby?
Well, I was up there tonight, and they just blew them off field. They played well, and I think the coach took them out probably at the beginning of the second half, and Chevy just played good football like they normally do, and they just moved them off the field and put the second string in there, and that's really how they got most of the points. Chase did, but in all, it was a good game. Chevy had a pretty good crowd. Of course, it was small, but nevertheless, I guess they just knew that Chevy was going to do what they had to do tonight. And Chase, they scored in the latter part of between the third and the fourth, latter part of the third quarter, and then going into the fourth quarter, they scored again. Most of it was off turnovers, but nevertheless, the Chevy Golden Lions pulled out the victories tonight.
Well, just like the beat, the streak goes on. 54-0-1.
Yeah, it's even back when my brother Mike Burson played for Chevy. They played. They just been winning, and Chevy just continued to get the victory up there at Chase, and of course they beat them here in Chevy as well. But I'm just glad that the Golden Lions are still clicking right now.
Well, Bobby, I want to say something about that series. A lot of people go back and they think 54-0-1. But in that whole series, there's only been 6 games that have been 10 points or less. Only 5 of them 7 points or less. And when I thought about tonight, you're up 55-6 at halftime and everything, and you're coming out. I even told Steve DeGree, I said the most points that Shelby's ever scored against Chase is 63. And then Steve was like, "Oh, we're not going to do that to them. We're not going to leave starters in to break a record." And I understand every bit of that, because you worry about injuries and stuff. But I was kidding Steve about, hey, y'all might set a record for the most points against Chase.
Well, it could have easily happened tonight. They had a chance to do it, but I guess Coach Wilbanks just decided to go ahead and pull them out because with the way they was looking at that, when I got there, they was up 21 to nothing then. And it was just, they just blew them away. And there was no looking back. And finally, he just pulled them out when he got good enough to score that he think he can pull them off the field.
Well, some of the other lines got a chance to play tonight, and as a result of that, we appreciate the kids that don't get an opportunity to play as much. Bobby, we thank you very much for your call tonight.
Well, I want to comment, if you don't mind, just a minute, quickly. I know y'all ready, but nevertheless, I just want to say that next week's game is definitely going to be a slobber knocker.
Yeah.
And you know who it is, Shelby and Burns.
All right, thank you, Bobby. All right, next week we got Shelby and Burns on the schedule. We got all kinds of things to talk about. No more callers, folks. We've got to go over next week's schedule. We've got MVPs to talk about, some fuzzy math in the top 10 today after all these upsets.
We got some rankings.
We've got, let's see, so next week we've got Ashbrook and Kings Mountain on the schedule. We've got Burns and Shelby. We've got Cherryville at Union Academy, Crest and Hunter Huss, and then Lincoln. I think we got West Lincoln and Lincoln next week on WLON. Real quick note, one last thing. I wouldn't say the refs lost Kings Mountain the game like I said today. 4 times inside the 30, you got to score. Kick field goals, whatever you got to do. You got to execute whatever, if it's play call, whatever you want to do. Snap over a quarterback's head. Penalties. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing. Look, put it this way: they play again. They play anytime again. I'm picking Kings Mountain. They had everything go wrong and lost by 5. So it was kind of like the Monroe game. When they just got dead. They just had enough time in the Monroe game to just come back and walk the rest of the way out on. Huss may end up with a home field advantage in this conference, though. So they may have to come back to Huss and win that.
Okay. Hey, let me before we move on to anything else, I want to touch a little bit on what Terry was saying about the West Lincoln crew. They lost 27 seniors. They graduated. They didn't lose. They graduated. 27 seniors off their football team last season.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
That's a whole team
in a
around
small
here.
2A town. That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids that they leave. They had kids that step in. They had 2 running backs that were 1,000-yard rushers apiece, and a quarterback that was a 500-yard rusher. So that's a lot of offense you lose at one time. They battle back. Now, they calling, could West Lincoln pull this upset over Newton Conover? I think it's an upset that Newton Conover beat West Lincoln because they have played that good. They played North Lincoln. They led North Lincoln up until the half of the year. So I think it's an upset that Newton Conover beat West Lincoln. But just to put things in perspective, they graduated 27 kids, and most of those are starters that they graduated last year. A very, very comfortable backfield, complimentary backfield that they graduated. That's 2,500 yards you graduated from last season. I just want to give West Lincoln their props for coming back and playing ball the way they had this year.
If I'm not mistaken, if Kenny Bridges had a decent night, he went over 1,000 yards tonight.
In one game?
I wish it was one game.
You said if he had a decent game night, he had 1,000 yards.
I mean, he didn't he was in the some yards coming in. So
I got to meet Cannon over there. We took some senior pictures over, nice kids over there. And listen, you might be surprised about the Newton Conover. I'm not. Saw them on the field against Kings Mountain. I thought their quarterback and running back combo was going to be dangerous in that 2A. Me and Hunter's been talking about it all year. I think there's 5 teams that could win that conference. I mean, it's narrowing it down because we're getting further into the season. But listen to this. So North Lincoln stomped East Lincoln into the ground tonight. They're still not going to be ahead of them in the power poll because listen to the schedule that North Lincoln's played compared to East Lincoln. And why would you think, looking at that schedule, hey, it's total surprise. North Lincoln's beat East Rutherford. They're not any good. West Caldwell. They're not any good. They beat Bessemer City, who's a 1A. It's not a good Bessemer City team. They beat West Lincoln. They beat Link Norman Charter. East Lincoln, on the other hand, beat a 3A East Rowan, beat a 3A Ashbrook, beat a 3A North Gaston, beat East Gaston, Lake Norman Charter, not getting good, and then they beat Lincoln, who we thought was playing good. I come in here, look at the scoreboard, and there's a blank on the scoreboard. Like, that's surprising.
That is
Bandy's.
surprising. They got
Is
beat
that the
by
biggest?
Bandy's.
Did anybody pick Bandy's in the pregame?
I think Hunter might have.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Hunter kept
I
his
stood
pride.
behind his crew.
Isn't he a Bandy's graduate?
Okay. Wednesday or whenever y'all did that show.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. I mean, that was just looking at that. Maybe not a surprise that Bandy's might have won that game. Losing to Bunker Hill earlier, some people would say, but 35-0. I mean, just that conference to me, I wouldn't know how to think or bet on it or anything if gambling really was.
I think a lot of people that have talked to me says you might end up with Newton Conover still being unbeaten. Them playing North Lincoln might give them the most trouble that they've ever had with the athletes that's on Newton Conover's team.
I want to apologize to North Lincoln too as well. After they lost that I did the first game of the season with Hunter at Parkwood. I was not impressed at all. They pretty much ran the same two plays over and over and over again. I know it's early in the season, but they had a chance to beat a 3A school on the road, and they didn't do anything open up in the offense. They threw one sweep, a toss to Cerus, and he went 70 yards for the score, I think. And so I thought that they would have problems if that was going to be their offense going in. Obviously, their defense is very good. Cerus is a big kid, a good baseball player as well. And I think they need to get it to Jake some more. That's what me and Hunter kept saying. Get it to Cerus. Let him get out there in the corner and be an athlete. Sam Brady is a big kid. You ever seen him in person? Oh my God! I thought he was a tight end. He's running back, big old boy. I mean, tall. He just looks like a tight end. All right, I've got MVPs to get to tonight from our broadcast. Cherryville tonight, offense Jaron Croft, defense Andrew Beam, overall Christian Hahn. I guess the fam didn't pitch in tonight in the 63-6 loss for Cherryville tonight against Mountain Island Charter, who lost to Bessemer a few weeks back, Terry. So, what do we think about the Mountain Island Charter team?
Bounce back.
Yeah, bounce back. So, Cinefani sent me his guys. Pryor had 97 rushing yards on 3 touchdowns. Ryan Thompson with an interception. Sweezy 236 yards, 3 touchdowns for them up there in an easy game. North Lincoln tonight, and East Lincoln game player of the game was Landon Beard of North Lincoln. He had 3 touchdown passes and ran for 1 from the quarterback position. Defensive player of the game was Craig Rathbone of North Lincoln. 2 picks tonight for Mr. Rathbone. The North Lincoln defense forced 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and a blocked punt. MVP for Shelby's tonight, Giovanni Daly. I guess 5 145. Is that what that means? Is that 5 catches, 145, and 2 touchdowns? Deshaun Christopher, 1 interception, 2 passes tipped. I would not throw a single ball in his direction. He is a extremely good athlete.
He's pretty good.
Yes, I wouldn't throw anything around Deshaun Christopher. And the Good Hands defensive player, Santana Flack, tonight for them. Now, we do have a special award tonight. Terry, I was told, let's see what it says. I earned the special teams coordinator of the night, Philip Russ down in Florida tonight, special teams coordinator at his high school. He said he ran a modified field goal block and blocked the field goal as the time expired for the win. So his field goal play call blocked the field goal and won the game tonight. So he gave himself a pat on the back with his text tonight all the way from Florida. Any other mentions? I know you guys got to listen to way more games and everything than I did. Real quick, as far as Huskos looking forward, guys, their running back, the kid from Catholic, is a really big kid.
That's what Joel was
He's huge.
saying.
Yes.
He's huge.
He played defensive end.
I didn't think he was. I seen him in the newspaper, and I was going, "Well, this kid, he's a
big."
kid." But then when I seen him on the field at night, I was like,
yes,
son of gun is huge.
So with Zoe Wallace in the backfield with him, okay, they trotted out. Did you see that fullback the first few plays in the pistol? Did you see him on the field, the fullback they were using? Number 58. And I can't remember his name. I do remember this. 6'2", 260 was the fullback. Will. Joel. Did it not look like the biggest lineman? It looked like Roseboro from when Lincoln was at Lincoln was out there. Now he's in front of that kid that's bigger than everyone else on the field. So, you know, it was diving at ankles tonight. The linemen were dodging the fullback as much as they could. He was clearing a lot first. Once, I mean, y'all got it settled down, figured out the defense. I mean, you guys technically, you know, besides the fluke play at the half, you only give up 14 points. So, I don't.
Once we figured them out, you just had to stop the other two guys.
They stubbed their toe on off.
But
what I think y'all messed. Well, the defense they said nothing deep.
We're still hurting because I told everybody till we get our tight end back, we're missing that one play.
I tell you what, a couple observations on it. Reed needs to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. Every time he gets rid of the ball quick, great things happen with you guys. It's almost like maybe, you know, you get used to playing these lesser defensive lines that you ain't got that much pressure. He's looking for that second deep receiver, and then when you play Huss, that's a huge line. That might be the biggest line that I've seen. If that's coming at you, you got less time. So he went to that first one. Every time he went to that second receiver, Joel, somebody was in his face, and he was like, "Oh crap!" I don't know how many times he just threw the ball trying to intentionally ground it at his running back's feet tonight, just trying to get rid of it. So I did think he needs to get rid of the ball just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's been his main problem all season long. I'm not the coordinator, so he just gonna have to learn.
And you got to keep that whistle out of the referee's mouth.
Well, no, actually, it was just. I said, what?
Listen, 4 plays inside the third.
But
4 plays inside the third.
But the 2 times we was in that red zone, we should have
4 drives inside the third.
I'm not the coach. They should have kicked them 2 field goals.
You don't need but 2 to win the game.
Yeah, that's true. Also on the
that's to win the game. Two field goals win that game.
Right.
I was just sitting there like, we're inside the 20.
Defensive wise, where Kings Mountain got beat tonight, and Shelby, I'm sure, you know, or anyone else looking at any type of film, Shelby don't have to worry about them anymore. But the teams that pass the ball, Kings Mountain kind of, you know, with having to stop that defense, they were kind of forced into a lot of man-to-man, and they got beat deep a lot on a lot of deep balls. Like Wallace would throw the ball, and I didn't think they were going to get to it. It ended up being he threw some beautiful balls tonight. Got to give full credit to Hunter Huss. Like I said, you know, a lot of mistakes both ways in the game. A lot of balls all over the ground tonight.
But
penalty
like
flags.
I said, I give Huss credit. They wanted the most. I was just enjoying the show between the 2 running backs. It was stiff arm and everybody. It was one hit after another.
Yeah, Mac. He had a bunch of stiff arms tonight. Brooks had the fumble. Seemed couldn't get too much lane. You guys had a dropped first down pass, just a dropped touchdown pass. One of those ones, remember? Whether you got that back a few plays later, but you did. The defender came over out of the zone. Yeah. Reed put it up in the air a little bit, and it got to. All right.
Dropped that one.
Yep. Let's go to our. I got 17 teams with positive points, guys, in our power poll. Now, we're going to get some calls on this one, Will, because the math is awful fuzzy this week. All because, and here's why. Kings Mountain hadn't had a bye yet. Huss has had 2. Huss has had 2 byes. And then like we talked about with the North Lincoln a minute ago, much weaker schedule as opposed to East Lincoln. So you guys are going to be upset when you find out that your teams are not ranked to the head of the teams you beat tonight. However, my point with the Huss folks is you've played 2 less games. If you win 1 game the week that they have off, you're tied, you win the tiebreaker. So technically you're going to be in first as long as you keep winning. Like what we say, Dennis, what do you got to do? Be patient.
It's coming.
The poll will carry out. For you North Lincoln fans, we're going to be upset you're behind East in the poll. What's going to happen is that you guys keep winning out. If you win in the playoffs, you're going to advance. East Lincoln might also lose another game. As soon as East Lincoln loses another game, you guys are ahead of them. So, we're going to have changes at the top. We're going to start at 17. I'm going to give you some of the positives. We'll do the top 2. We'll rearrange the top 12 if you want. That's 18. 17 is where Mountain Island Chargers right there. Number 17, if you'll switch Mountain Island and South Point there, Will. Number 17 is South Point with 2 points. And they're tied with Mountain Island Charter, but Mountain Island has a better record, 5-2. South Point 3-4. So Mountain Island is 16. South Point 17. The reason we're starting at number 17, folks, is there's only teams with positive power points. How do you win power points? 1 point for 1A victory, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. All right, we got to do this as fast as we can. Chase with 3 points is number 15. Chase Trojans has 3 points. They're 5-2 on the season. Number 14 is the Bandy's Trojans. They have 5 power points, and they're 5-2 on the season. They're tied with the West Lincoln Rebels. The Rebels are 13th with 5 power points as well. They win on the defensive tiebreaker because they even have the same record as Bandy. So we get a third tiebreaker with the Rebels. Rebels, number 13 now in the power poll. 6 power points on the season. At number 12 is, that's West Lincoln right there. Number 12 is the Forest View Jaguars. They're 4-3 on the season. They have 6 power points. So the Forest View Jaguars have moved up to number 12. Number 11, the RS Central Hilltoppers. They were number 1 for 2 weeks earlier on the season, and they've dropped 5-3 now on the season. The Hilltoppers are now in the 11th place. You just took them off a second ago. They may be down to left. RS Central Hilltoppers are in 11th spot. So move the Red Devils up to 10 because they'll be in 10. Maiden to 9, move them up. So just slide those up, and now we're getting narrowing down the top 10 here. So Newton Conover at 10 with 8 power points. They're tied with Maiden and Thomas Jefferson, but they've got a worse record and worse points. Thomas Jefferson is undefeated. So Jefferson at 8, Maiden at 9, Newton Conover at 10. Number 7 is the North Lincoln Knights. They're in the right place. They haven't moved. They win tonight over East Lincoln. They knock East Lincoln off their number 2 perch because, like I said, the weaker schedule, folks. They keep winning. They'll take it, especially if East Lincoln loses a game. They'll move on up past them, so be patient. North Lincoln with 10 power points is ranked 7th. Number 6, the Crest Chargers at 6-2. They've got 13 power points. They're tied, actually, with Burns and East Lincoln with 13 power points. You guys win next week, no matter what. You guys will be ranked ahead of them because they can't get 3 points. You guys will. And if you beat Huss, they'll lose a point. You guys will be up and possibly tied with Shelby at number 2 next week if you beat the Huskies. So Crest could be as high as 2 next week, depending on the power points. But right now they're 6. The Burns Bulldogs are 5. And the East Lincoln Mustangs and the Hunter Huss Huskies switch spots at 2 and 4. Mustangs back to 4. Shelby at 3, Huss at 2, Kings Mountain Steel at number 1 because they've played 2 more games than Huss and have 2 more wins. But like I said, folks, be patient for Huss. You guys had two. As soon as you get the Kings Mountain gets the bye week, you guys will catch them and skip over Kings Mountain. You just got to wait for their bye week. So it'll end up right in the end, right, Terry Reinhardt? It will. All right, right now we're gonna have some upset fans for about a week, but next week, when Huss and Crest play each other, that's going to mess some stuff up. And Shelby and Burns. Guys, next week, we've got 2 games with 4 teams in the top 6. 4 out of our top 6 teams play each other next week.
Showdown.
See broadcasting. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? That's a beautiful hat.
Yeah. And
Dennis.
The Raging Cajuns are not raging anymore.
How many undefeated teams are in college football left, Terry? I know the Mountaineers are one of them.
5, I think.
Yeah.
And one of those
Shouldn't
happens to
5th?
reside in Boone.
Now, Will, when people complain about the rankings, what I'll say to them is Appalachian beat Michigan one time, and they still had Michigan ranked ahead of them. So,
Oh, they beat Carolina too.
So, yeah, and the App still actually ranked ahead of Carolina right now, at least. So at least they got that part right. But they did beat Michigan, had the audacity to rank them ahead of us. You believe that?
And we get to play South Carolina.
2-time national championship
Get to play the
champions at that
South
point.
Carolina Gamecocks later on. So
Yeah, we're gonna. Hey Terry, if Apple beats North and South Carolina, don't we? Ain't that an automatic bid to the SEC? I mean, it should be. You're the best team in the Carolinas.
Yep.
Clemson don't count.
If you beat North Carolina,
Clemson don't
hey,
count.
Clemson. Hey, consolation prize, Terry. You own Carowinds if you beat North Carolina and South Carolina.
There might be. I think there's 6 teams in the SEC that's never won the SEC championship. So I mean, you can kick Vanderbilt out and replace App with them. You ain't losing anything. Maybe some academics.
App don't want them kind of problems.
Who?
App don't want
I think the SEC don't want them kind of problems.
App don't want
Tennessee definitely don't want none. South Carolina definitely don't want.
Oh, what did we do? We went up
Kentucky
to
don't
Tennessee a
want
couple of
none.
years ago, and
Yeah, about beat them.
yeah.
But Georgia State beat them this year, and we got Georgia State. All right, we got to go tomorrow morning, folks. Saturday morning sports talk. You're gonna hear more of this: Appalachian College, NBA, NFL, all kinds of things to talk about. Big things to talk
Gonna
about.
hear
Major League
Terry
Baseball
apologize
playoffs.
to me in the morning.
Cardinals lose, Calvin.
Terry's going to apologize to you.
Yeah, 2-0.
Apologize to me.
One hitter.
Cardinals scored 10 runs on the Braves in
that's
the
enough of that.
first inning, and then don't get a hit for 9 innings or 8 innings at home against the wild card team. Baseball.
They beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, just weird
The
sport.
wild card team beat the Dodgers.
Do what?
They beat the Dodgers.
I did like you guys asking what time the Dodgers and Braves play. That was funny. I heard that coming in.
Calvin said the score was still 0-0.
Yeah, it was
in
still
that
0-0.
game.
Britt Pasco sent me a thing, said, give me score updates. It was before the game. I sent it back to him 0-0.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
See you guys in the morning. What's up, Renaldo? You've been listening and watching the Renaldo Autoball post-game show. Renaldo Autoball post-game show on ktcbroadcasting.com.
We just came to win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball. We going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs.
Cause I want you for myself, need nobody else. I can't help myself.